Hey everybody, this is Patty Rice. God calls me the Promise Coach. He uses me to motivate people and to help them remember that He keeps His promises, and to help people to continue to contend for their promises. Coming to you today because He gave me a word, and usually He'll speak a word to me, and then I'll ask for more information, or He will show me something in a dream. This time he spoke to me after I noticed something, and so I'll share that with you. Um, what wound up happening is I was waiting for my Uber Eats, and at my house, I have a storm door in front of my house, and so it's all glass. And I went down to the door to get my Uber Eats, and I unlocked the storm door, and I opened it a little bit as the person was walking up. And what people don't know is that I have to be careful in the way that I open and close the door, because the way it was installed, it was like not all the way installed properly by the people who put it in. And so at the bottom, there's like this little piece that's a little loose. And if you like let the door slam, that could be a problem. So, and I know I need to get that thing fixed. But anyway, I was there at the door. I opened it a bit for, as the person was coming up for my Uber Eats. And then as they as they were leaving, and I'm like carefully closing the door back, and then going to lock it, I looked down at that little part at the bottom that is a bit of a problem. And God spoke to me, and He said, that's what people do, is they look at other people's promises, and they think that other people are living their best life and really have things going on, when in fact there may be something that you can't see, that's that a person has to be careful with, that a person has going on in their life, that can be a struggle or a difficulty or a challenge or a thorn in their side, because that door is actually an irritant to me. And so the way he was showing it to me, it was like people can walk up to my house, and from the outside looking in, they could be like, oh, this is such a nice house. And they do say those things, it's a nice house. Oh, I love your house, and things like that. But they don't know that from the inside, there's a situation, there's something going on. And so he was just talking to me about how people can look at people from the outside. They see them getting their breakthroughs, they see them getting their promises, and they're like, wow, why isn't that happening for me? It can cause a person to be a little jealous, a little envious, things like that, and really put somebody's focus on somebody else's blessing, on somebody else's breakthrough, and promise that God has allowed to come forth in their life. And what He wants us to do is keep our eyes on Him, because we have no idea, when we're looking at somebody else get their promise and their breakthrough, what, number one, what they had to go through to get there, and number two, what responsibility and attacks may come forth because they are now there. So it's a good thing for us to do. And I asked God to show me in scripture, like an example of that, of somebody looking at OPP, other people's promises. And he pointed me in the direction of Rachel and Leah. And many people know the story of Rachel and Leah, but for those who don't, they were sisters who were married to the same man, Jacob. And Jacob was actually tricked. He worked for Rachel and Leah's father, Laban, for 7 years, thinking he was going to get to marry Rachel. And Laban did a little bit of bait and switch. He gave him Leah instead as the oldest daughter, because he said the oldest needed to marry before the youngest. And so what Jacob did was he worked another 7 years to be able to marry the love of his life, Rachel. So what wound up happening though is that Leah, God opened her womb and she was able to have children. Rachel, she was childless for a period of time. And the Bible talks about how she said to Jacob, give me children or I'll die. And Jacob is like upset with her because he's like, am I God that I can, do this for you, that I can just give you this? I'm not God. I can't make this happen for you. So anyway, she winds up humbling herself because of her situation. And she winds up, later being able to have children. But the thing was, she was looking at herself, Leah, like, this woman has become a mother and I want to be a mother and all of that. But the thing was, Leah may have been a mother, but she was not a wife that was loved by her husband. Jacob did not love Leah. And so she had to watch her sister Rachel reap all the favor of a husband that loved her. And so that's the thing. God wanted me to encourage everybody to take your eyes off of other people's promises. Take your eyes off of OPP. There was a song years ago that I used to absolutely love that was a rap song that would say, you down with OPP? And God doesn't want us to be down with OPP. Now, the way they were saying it was other people's property, but God is saying it other people's promises. We don't need to be, if God had told us, I'm going to raise you up as a leader and a speaker. We don't need to be looking at leaders and speakers who are doing their thing. They're on their game. They're on the ball. They're winning. They're in their winning season. We don't need to look at them with envy and with jealousy and say, wow, why is it that they're getting to do that and not me? And, come from a place of negativity and and getting hurt by what somebody else is getting, because God has promises that are yours, things that he wants to do in your life. Jeremiah 29:11 applies to us all. He has plans for all of us. He's written out in the volume of each of our books what it is he sent us and designed us to do. We each have a purpose and a destiny. We just got to get with God, find out what that is. If we know what that is, we need to just continue to seek God about it, seek him for the steps that we need to take, partner with him, and keep believing for the things that God spoke over your life. So if you're in a situation where you're looking at OPP, other people's promises, maybe they became a wife before you did. Maybe they became a mother before you did. Maybe they, became a boss or a leader before you did. Maybe they were able to go to school before you did, and things like that. Things that God has promised you, and you're seeing other people step into their blessings and their breakthroughs. That's no slight. It should be no slight against you. God has a perfect timing for the blessings that he has for your life, and he's going to bring it to pass. He's going to manifest it and bring it to to fruition, excuse me. He's going to bring it to pass for you. And I almost hate to use that word manifestation sometimes because it's being misused today. But he's going to cause those things to come forth in the natural for you that he promised you. You just have to get in a posture of believing him for it and knowing that in his perfect timing it's going to come forth for you. Don't speak negatively against it. Don't harbor jealousy in your heart towards somebody else that's winning and getting what you think you should have. That is their blessing. That is their promise, and it's okay. God has a promise and a blessing for you too. But what he wants you to know is those promises and blessings, they cost. Because when you do become the wife, that's going to cost. There's an added responsibility that comes on your life when you become a wife, when you come in a partnership, when you become a husband and you come in a partnership with another person. Whatever's going on with them, it's then going on with you because you're one flesh at that point. There's a responsibility to becoming a mother. There's a responsibility to getting that promotion on the job. There's a responsibility that comes with being a new author, writing a book. There's a responsibility that comes with being a speaker and a leader. You have new responsibilities at that point. So you have to be aware that there's a cost associated with these promises and blessings. And we're running around here talking about, oh yeah, I need God to bless me with a new car or what have you. You get that new car and see if people don't want their car note, if you're going to have to pay out money for oil changes, if you're going to have to pay out to register that car and do emissions. There's a lot of responsibilities that come with those things. And if God forbid there's some kind of accident that occurs, you got to make sure you have the insurance paid up, and there's steps you need to take that you don't have to take if you don't have the responsibility of that new car. So just be mindful and aware that God knows the timing that He's prepared you and made you ready for the things that He's promising that He's going to bring into your life, because your life will shift and change when those promises come through. I keep that at top of mind, that the things that God has promised me, the things that He said He's going to do in my life in the entertainment industry, as He brings me step by step into those things in His perfect timing, I want to be sure that that I'm ready, that I'm prepared, because I know, like they say, new levels, new devils. I know that I'm stepping into different realms that, I have to be prepared for, different realms that if I'm not ready, they can crush me. God sees these things and He knows these things, and He knows the level of responsibility that are added when these promises come forth. So just get in alignment with God on these things. Repent for any areas where you may have been jealous, where you may have been envious of somebody, and where you may have even not celebrated somebody else's win, because we're meant to celebrate each other's wins. You're not going to win all the time and in every moment and in every season. But when you do win, you do want the people in your circle, the people around you, to celebrate you and celebrate what God has done for you. So do that for other people, even if you're in a position right now where you're not seeing any fruit and it makes you sad sometimes. Yes, you may be sad sometimes, but ask God to give you the joy of the Lord, and then go celebrate your brother and your sister's wins. Because when one of us wins, we all win. And we have to just kind of keep our mindsets in a position of celebrating when we see other people's promises, knowing, with a balanced knowing, that those things cost them something, and there are responsibilities attached to those wins. That, pray for your brother and sister as they step into these new promises, because they're going to need it. They're going to need those things, because if you're looking to be a leader, let me tell you how people are ready and willing and trolling to attack you online and in public places and spaces. They need your prayers as they go forth in these new categories that God has them stepping into. And your time will come, your turn will come. And what you will hope and what you will want is for someone else to celebrate you, celebrate what God is doing in your life, in your big wins. And you'll want somebody to pray for you, pray that you'll be able to handle it, that you'll be able to make wise decisions and wise choices as you move forth in the promises that God made to you. So I'm just encouraging you today about these things. Stay away from envying and being jealous of other people's promises, and keep your focus on Jesus Christ Himself. I love you. I hope to talk to you again very soon. And if you get a chance, look in the description box and grab a hold of my new free ebook called Do This Not That. Is perfectly free. All you have to do is go on, click the link, and put in your name and email address and download the free book. It's about how spiritual doors get open and how to close them. I love you. Hope to talk to you again very soon. Bye.